One of the things you try to do with these performing horses like this is conditioning, just like you would an athlete. They are very trained to work with cattle, but if you don't keep the body strong and limber, there's quick movement a lot of time, there's acceleration, and then they have to stop a great deal on the behind. That's why you got to keep them, exercising them, keep them limber as much as possible. So it's so important to keep them fit, and this is part of it. I mean, even to the point of what you feed them, the dieting, how much you feed them. So I think you get the best out of a horse when you take care of them that way and you give them plenty of exercise and water and food. It's almost just like athletes. If they don't train or stretch, they can easily pull a muscle and they can't perform at their best.
The other drive ended with the most unusual play of the afternoon. Morrill handed to Sam Haverlack, who completed a pass to Hinton. Cornell Green ripped the ball loose, but neither team could recover it before it rolled out of the end zone. Another look reveals the extemporaneous quality of this play.
As I'm looking, I noticed the quarterback, the running back has the ball. Someone has already tackled the quarterback, and the ball is thrown to me in the middle of the field. Didn't realize he was throwing the ball to a receiver behind me, but I catches it. When I turn upfield, no one, I'm 25 yards from the goal. The score is 13-13. I get to score the winning touchdown. I get to be on the front page of Sports Illustrated. I'm standing on the sideline thinking that the rest of my life, I'm gonna be the guy that lost the Super Bowl. Back in the day, they showed nothing but Western movies on television a lot. And I was so curious about these animals, these cowboys riding these horses. My mother knew that I was glued to the television watching these Westerns. So every Christmas, I kept thinking she was gonna finally buy me a pony. I knew she knew what I was doing. And of course, when I was 5, what my mother did give me was a football and a football helmet. And obviously there was no horse there. My parents, my grandfather, my mother, and my grandmother, they're bootleggers. And most young people wouldn't know what that is. It was like being drug dealers. 7 nights a week, there was people always in my home. Music playing, people talking loud, they're cursing, there's fighting. And I just realized as a young age, a kid shouldn't be growing up living like this and seeing this kind of thing. So sports I took up in the 5th grade, and I used to play in a band, a saxophone, anything to exhaust me in the afternoon from going home to do my homework and go to sleep. I could tune out. It was an escape. I've always been fascinated, and in Oklahoma, right in my little town's Army base called Fort Sill. And we used to go out there all the time, and on Sundays, these officers be running up and down the field playing polo, and I always thought, that's cool, man. You mean after I got out playing football, I can get on a horse and still run? I don't have to do the running, let them do it. But kind of a rich man sport, and I'm like, this is not too exciting.
Cody and Gale, flag is up. 7, count number 7. All right, Maryville Academy, the rest up, flag is up.
Ranch sorting is when there are 2 small arenas facing one another with an opening in the middle. On one side is 10 head of cattle with numbers. Once the announcer calls a number out, say the number 4, one of the riders go in, pick out the 4, bring it through the hole to the opposite side of the arena, and the second rider goes in and bring in 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way back to 3. Probably to the day I die, I'm gonna need to always do something competitive. At least the horse do the movement and running. I just sit on it and ride it. You have to trust them a lot and trust their instincts. And that's tough for a human, because as men, we love to feel in control, you know. But the better you're able to trust your horse to do what he's been trained to do, the better off you're gonna be, yeah. It's just getting their mind right to relax and enjoy the day. They just like people. If you do too much of one thing all the time, you can get burnt out, and I don't want them to get burnt out. If your mind is set on going playing professional football, you're probably better off trying to win the lottery. I was just lucky. Look at the colleges. Let's take 20,000 athletes every year. Does anyone know how many they draft every year? Out of that 20,000, 256 athletes. Out of that 256 athletes they draft, only less than a third may end up on a team. What are your odds? Have a backup plan. Next thing I know, it was 6 years. And someone said something to me on my right about a party, and someone said something on my left about the game. And I thought, at that moment in time, I am 6 years behind my peers. I graduated in college. I got to start over. The excitement of the game had left me. I looked at the fans. I see the bodies. I can't see the faces. What is catching a football? Does that make sense? When you start thinking that way, it's time to get out. "85% of people don't know what second effort is as an athlete. It's when the mind and the body becomes one. And in your body, you feel effortless when you perform. It's like an entertainer or a singer. They have to practice where the verses and the music, it just become natural to you. Just like with these horses, your movement, like I have with Caddy, is she knows my movement, I know her movement, and there's no anticipation. You just move. It's like a dance. You become effortless. Sports is constantly teaching you how to be a good listener, how to work well as a team, how to set goals, how to accomplish those goals, and most of all, how to be in tune with this gift that's body and mind that God had given you. I think I was seeking for that away from my environment of chaos that I could see. That, as well as sports, gave me that freedom of escape. And I seek for harmony constantly in my life, and even back then, I was seeking for it. So I kind of found that a little bit in sports. I escape a little bit when I go down and ride it, don't kick around all these animals, but you always had to go back to the reality. I had that escape. And then say that you may be troubled, or you get on them, ride and talk it out with them. They don't care. They don't care anything except as long as you feed them and you clean around the stall, keep them clean, and groom them. They don't worry about clothes, or food, or shelter. How do they keep existing? It's how the wind just hit you in the face and you found a piece of freedom on these animals. That's, it's walking or it's loping along and it's carrying you. And it took you away from everything else. It's the beauty of life that we have this gift to live and to see